Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. Back again as always with Luke. How's it going, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Nice to do a podcast. Always great to get together. Obviously, don't put them out as often as we used to, but they're still really good fun when we do make them. Right, so let's get on with it. So Fulham tonight. I did a little preview earlier, so if this video goes out either after the game, it depends on uploading. But yeah, Fulham tonight, a must-win, really. I know it's weird saying a must-win because we're not going to get relegated and we probably ain't going to qualify for Europe now. But just in terms of next season's momentum for me.
Yeah, I agree. We're on a bit of a shaky run. We haven't won in a few games. Yeah, absolutely.
Liverpool result was fantastic. Like a couple of weeks ago, the 1-1, that was a great result. But then the Palace, again, back to that disappointing sort of, level of performance. And we were very lucky to get away with a win, with a draw in the Palace game. Yeah, very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is, obviously, like you say, this might go out after the fact, and we've probably lost 4-0. But I can't see us not getting a result. I can't see us not getting a win against Fulham. Haven't won an away game this season.
Most goals conceded.
Yeah, but these are the things that,
as a West Ham fan, you go, right, banana skin.
Yeah.
Straight up banana skin for West Ham.
So
some returning players, I completely forgot they signed him in January, actually. Nordveit, potentially, could start for them, his first game. Another player, I'm sure he had a very good record against us, Ryan Babel, when he used to play for Liverpool. I'm sure we used to bang goals in for fun against us when he played for them.
Yeah, it feels like it was about 15 years ago now.
Yeah. Schürrle as well, another player. When he was at Chelsea, he used to love scoring against us. You look at players like Mitrovic as well, good little player, very nasty, dangerous little player. There was a little video I watched, Hammers chat, and they were saying about, would you sign Mitrovic if they went down as like a sort of third, fourth choice striker? If you're looking at the fact that maybe all four West Ham strikers may leave.
Third, fourth choice, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely take him as a backup. It'd be a decent sort of replacement for Andy Carroll.
Yeah, like a third choice. I'm not saying as a starter, but he would be a very good, solid squad player to bring in. Yeah, looking at us, obviously, mate, your boy's back, Manuel Lanzini. Unbelievable. Well, we could just about see that shirt there in the background, yeah. Well, it's better than my shirt, mate, just so everyone can see I've got bloody Arnie on the back. I haven't gone out the house with this shirt on since January. So, yeah, Lanzini's back. Amazing. What we've been missing, and Nasri back as well, which, again, we see glimpses of Nasri in the Arsenal game. And I said it in my preview. Listen, these are the players that Manuel Pellegrini has wanted. His ideal team at the start of the season would have been Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Anderson, and Arnautovic up front.
Yeah.
Between now and the end of the season, it's all about, again, building for next year and getting the players used to each other. Like, it seems like Nasri as well is going to get a new contract. Your thoughts on that, mate? 100%.
As long as obviously he can stay fit between now and the end of the season, you can see just the limited time we have seen him, he's still got, like that they say, like, class is permanent. He's still got it. And we desperately have missed that link player between the midfield and the attack. We've so badly missed that creative spark.
It's that confidence on the ball in that key area, and that the Arsenal game was like for Nasri. He was the one, he set up the Rice goal and he had loads of little touches where he set Anderson off for a shot. It's all those little, these good players, they seem like they've got loads of time.
Yeah. Like
time slows down around them and they can pick these passes easy. But your boy Lanzini, mate, it's just some comments from you on like him coming back. For me, amazing. Like, he's the player we've been waiting for, man.
Massive.
He is our best player. Yeah. He's our best player if he comes back to the level he was.
That's the big question. I mean, I did see Pellegrini was saying yesterday that he's been training like there's no issue. He's training like he never had an operation.
Still very young.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Training as if he's completely over it. He hasn't got that fear, which is important. Whether that will be the same when he's on the actual pitch, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But such a massive player, and I've seen a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh, the longer he's been away, the better he's got," because rose-tinted glasses.
Oh
and all
yeah,
that,
no,
but,
yeah, that does happen.
But I don't think that's the case. I genuinely
No,
think
mate, he was.
it's the other way around. You need to remember this
Those
guy.
last 3 or 4 games, mate, last season, like the game against Everton, just before he went off to the World Cup, unbelievable performance in that game.
That's the thing. He was going to the World Cup. He was going to be playing for Argentina. You know, he was he was fantastic. I was watching the last season review, just a few bits the other day, and just seeing how good. I honestly think people have forgot how good he was. And I just hope he comes back the same player. I really do, because if he does, he's going to be absolutely massive for us.
And what you have to think as well, mate, is, you know, the players around him, like people like Anderson, is going to absolutely thrive off that. Like Anderson, clearly at the moment, is our best player. Anderson is unbelievable. Like some of the runs in the Palace game and in the Liverpool game, mate, he just takes the mick. That video that West Ham released, where it's like a nutmeg every 17 minutes, it's just ridiculous. But people like that, they need that. And when Yarmolenko comes back, you know, that boom, boom, boom. Someone who's got that speed of thought to get the pass to them. And, you know, because that's why sometimes these players like Anderson and even Payet, sometimes they didn't look as good because the players around them are not on the level of their thinking in terms of movement. That's
one thing I will say about Payet. He was on a different level. He genuinely was. Like, he dragged the team up to his level. I don't think Anderson is on his level.
Not yet. I think he has potential to go on and be maybe not even as good as Payet, because Payet was, like you say, mate, different level. He was one of the best players in the world during that year. But Anderson's definitely, you're seeing more and more of him. You're seeing a £40 million player now.
At least, mate. And I'll tell you, that is the worrying thing, is depending on what we do this summer, how long are we going to be able to keep these players together? Because, like I say, if, like you say, mate, next year, if we do get to see, if Arnie, I think, gone in the summer regardless.
I'm like that. I don't know with Arnie. I don't know.
I think he's gone regardless. Apparently, it's basically a done deal. He's going to Italy in the summer. But if we can get in a good striker to replace him, but then what excites me is, like you were saying, mate, is the players behind the striker. Like you say, you've got Anderson, Lanzini, Nasri, Yarmolenko, Wilshere.
And then potentially you could have, you know, if we go and get a Maxi Gomez, for example, that seems to be the guy that he wants. You know, with that 4, you know, I think you could put more or less nearly anyone in that sort of role with a little bit of talent, and they've got the service. You're only as good as the service you get at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's frightening to think about. That's something I would absolutely love to see. Like you say, that striker up top against games where we're expected to be the better team, playing at home, have those 4 attacking players and just go for it. Go for it. Playing away, pull one of them out, play 2 more defensive minded midfielders. But again,
you'd play like a 4-5-1, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like obviously with Rice sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you'd have Rice. For me, attacking games, I would have Rice sitting, and then Nasri, Lanzini alongside him or in front of him, and then more defensive games, drop one of those 2 out and bring someone in to sit next to Rice. Like maybe Wilshere. Like, it's where does he fit in? There's so many.
Yeah, I read some things about Wilshere actually, mate. Just to stop you there, saying that it's a big thing for him these next couple of weeks. I think Pellegrini said about, like, in terms of his injury, and that we may potentially offer him a 7 million sort of goodbye clause,
right?
If he wasn't there injured, which would be a massive shame, because I'm a big fan of Jack, but obviously we have not seen it in a West Ham shirt yet. But you know, there's a real good player there if we can get him fit. But we don't want another Carroll. That is the problem.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate, 100%.
There's a lot of money, you know. Like, we could free up a lot of cash this summer. You know, Andy Carroll's going to go. I expect Chicharito to go. Like you say, if Arnautovic goes as well, and Perez, like, you could have nearly like 300-400 grand to play with there.
Obiang,
in terms of wages.
Obiang yeah. It's like you say, mate. There could be a lot of money to work with in the summer.
I don't want Zabaleta to go. I wouldn't mind keeping him for another year. But if Zabaleta was to go, I assume he's on about 70-80 grand a week. There's a lot of weekly wage to play about with. Plus, you're allowed to increase it by, I think it's 10% a year. I think you're allowed to increase it.
Yeah. Talking of Zabaleta, what do you think? It seems like Fredericks has come in the last couple of games. I've been really impressed with him.
Yeah. I was going to actually go back to the Fulham game, say that about the right back situation. Yeah, for me, mate, Fredericks, if Zabaleta looks like he is going to go, you've got to again look for next season and start planning.
Yeah.
You know, these next 10 games that are left or 12 games that are left, whatever it is. Give him 12 games, you know, let him make the mistakes in these 12 games that are not important. You know, let him burn them out. And then, Balbuena comes back, and then you've got Diop, Balbuena. And I've got to say, I've been really impressed with Cresswell since he's been back.
I agree.
You know, and there's a good basis of a defence there. A really good basis. But yeah, I'm impressed with Frederick's pace. He's still potentially a bit hot-headed with the flies in the tackles, but he's still young. He's still very, very young. But... yeah, it'd be great to see Balbuena back in a couple of weeks as well. Apparently, he's very, very close. Because again, I think he's been more of a bigger loss. Because Diop has just not looked as self-assured.
No,
he's still very good.
Although I think he's been better. I think the whole defence, and this is like you were saying about Cresswell. I think since Cresswell's come in, he's helped to settle the defence a bit.
Because Masuaku.
Yeah, as much as I like Masuaku as a player, he just seems all over the place at left back this season. He just can't. He can't do it.
He just he doesn't react.
And because he's all over the place, Ogbonna, who's a very good defender, he's been being dragged across to try and cover Masuaku, and then that's left Diop on his own in the middle. And I think
because the Liverpool game was a big example of that with Ogbonna, because obviously Cresswell came back in for that.
Yeah.
And Ogbonna looked like there was all these plaudits. Oh, Maldini's plan today.
Yeah, but like I said, it's because he didn't have to worry about what was going on with a left back because Cresswell was there. So since Cresswell's come back in, it's really, I think, helped settle the defence down. I really hope Ogbonna doesn't leave in the summer. He could do. I hope he doesn't. I think he's, again, like you say, Diop, Balbuena, definite first choice.
Starting,
but then to have Ogbonna there is
I did read today, actually, I think it was X that put it on Twitter this morning, that Winston Reid was back and apparently in about a week's time he will start full training again. Listen, Winston Reid may be an injury-prone player now, but I don't think we can discredit how good a defender he is when he is fit.
It's been so long since he's played.
Yeah, it is a long time.
So long. So it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back, because he's still got another 3 years left on his contract.
Yeah, I think...
because they gave him 6 years, didn't they?
I think he's there 10 years. It might be this year or next year would be sort of due for testimonial sort of thing.
Yeah.
10 years at the club. I think it was 2008, 2009 he signed for us. Because it was championships, weren't it? Because he was playing right back.
Yeah. Disaster of a debut at right back, yeah.
Yeah. But he is a good centre-half.
He is.
If you get back to Winston Reid that, that was linked to Liverpool, Arsenal, he's a good solid centre-half. In terms of the result tonight, mate, I think the man on my back, he needs a go as well. Again, I don't know whether he's going to stay or not. Who knows?
Does he start for you?
Yeah, he has to. He has to start. Who else is there?
Well, Chicharito started the last couple and he's played well. He hasn't scored, but he's played well.
I'll tell you, one of the best performances we had actually was when Chicharito... Was it Arnie played Cam or Chicharito? I think Arnie played Cam and Chicharito played up top. I think it was against Newcastle. And that was a really good performance with Arnie just behind him. So, I don't know. It depends whether Nasri plays tonight. And obviously, that is Lanzini's role.
Yeah.
In about 2 weeks' time, Lanzini's going to be there, hopefully. I think we'll win. I did predict 3-1. But, could easily be a banana skin tonight. But I hope not.
I hope not. I hope... I really hope we really put on a performance. It does depend on the team that plays. I'd love to see a 3-0. 3-0 would be lovely. Maybe why not 4-0? Let's just go for it.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah. Moving on, mate. Declan Rice. Obviously, we've not done a show. I did a video, but didn't do a show. He has chose England. Obviously, he's had quite a bit of criticism from pundits, but also some credit as well due. Great decision, because I know people like me and you, mate, are not the biggest England fans in the world, but he probably is the best CDM English out there at the moment.
100%, mate. And the reason for me, a lot of people disagree with this. For me, is club before country every time. Club before country.
Yeah, of course it is.
Put Declan Rice in that England team, mate. I'm an England fan.
No, I agree.
I
agree, mate.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's great. I think,
and it's only good for West Ham.
Yeah, of course.
As well, obviously it's not West Ham fans criticising him at all, but as a West Ham fan, it's brilliant for us because as soon as he puts that England shirt on, boom, £50 million player. Puts it on for 10 times, he's a £70 million player. And obviously there are all these rumours about, you texted me the other day about Pep Guardiola and stuff, looking at him, and Klopp's looking at him, and you keep hearing Arsenal pundits saying about perfect for what Emery needs. Listen, I can't see us keeping hold of him much longer than 2 years anyway, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them, like we were saying the other day, mate, if City come in the summer and put 70 million on a table...
He's gone.
He's gone. He's gone.
And I don't want him to go, but I can't see how bold...
No, no, don't get me wrong, mate. I would love to see us turn down 70 million, but it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah...
And it's the wages as well, like what's he signed? A 30, 40 grand a week contract on it. You know, City will go, boom, 70 million and 200 grand a week or whatever it is. You know, they put, what's his name? Delph and people like that. And Jack Rodwell was on like 150 grand a week there.
Yeah, well, what's that kid Foden? What's he on?
Foden, yeah, probably 100 grand a week.
So, yeah, but I think it's a good decision. He's made the right decision for himself and for his career. End of the day, I know people were annoyed. I live in Northern Ireland. So, like all the Irish over here saying, oh, it's a joke, you know. I kind of understand where they're coming from. I do think the rules are a bit muddy. The fact that he has played for the senior team, yeah, they were only friendlies, but he still has got caps, which is a little bit muddy. But then I've read loads of stuff as well saying that the Irish national team do exactly the same thing. They've got no issue with stealing and tapping up Northern Irish players and English players. Well, it's
mate, I remember. I think it might have been, it was either Northern Ireland or Republic Island. At one point, we're trying to tap Noble up. You know, Noble wouldn't have got in the England team, and they were trying to tap him up. So what?
But I mean, he's made the right decision for himself and for his career.
Mate, and it's not like he's doing it. I'd like to think that Southgate has possibly gone to him. Look, mate, you are going to get in my team.
100%. There's no way this would have happened without that.
Yeah, like it's not like, because sometimes you get players go, oh, I'm going to play for England, and then they'll only play one. I can see Declan Rice being in that England team now for a long time. Yeah. I think he can, if he plays how he plays for West Ham, that positions ease for the next potentially 10 years.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it that Southgate has said to him, I want you to come and play for England. You're going to be in the team. We're going to put you in the Ireland midfield. I don't doubt that for a second. And at the end of the day, as a young player, he wants to do what's best for him. Obviously, he's got more chance of winning things with England than he would have with Ireland. It's going to do his value the world of good. It's going to give his earning potential a massive boost. It's the right decision for himself. And at the end of the day, the boy's English. He was born in England.
That's it.
So, you know, But yeah,
great news for West Ham though. In terms of everything, it'd be nice to have a West Ham player that's an England player. We'll get good money for him when we do eventually, sadly, probably have to sell him, depending on where we go as a club in the next 2 to 3 years' time. But it guarantees us good money. I think that's it. And I think the same with Diop as well. You know, if there was loads of stuff about Diop potentially getting into that France team eventually. Obviously, there's Varane, people. There's still some very young defenders in that France team, but I think it will. I think Lee said it a couple of years ago. There will be a time when we go. Do you remember when we have Rice and Diop in our team?
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, they're potential Premier League winners and Champions League winners, etc. I think there will become that day. But yeah, good news. Next one, stadium, mate. Obviously, they announced that the Bobby Moore and Trev are going to be moved a little bit closer.
Maybe it's going to be looked into.
Yeah,
it's going to be looked into. I remember we agreed that we were going to get a new carpet about 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't get too excited just yet. If it happens though, fantastic news. Fantastic news if it happens.
But I think they should also. I don't know what the logistics is of it. Why can't they do that at the sides as well?
I imagine they will. If it happens, I would imagine that they'll do it at the ends first. If it works, then they'll probably look to doing it at the sides. It'd be brilliant to square off the stands. I mean, it'd be fantastic. The only worry is obviously it's just going to create an even bigger gap between the upper tier and the lower tier.
Yeah, that is the issue, isn't it? Again, unless we can get it as a permanent you know, that it's not athletics anymore, and they can sort of, I don't know, like build it like a steep,
Yeah.
potentially take, again, fortune it would cost, but take out all the bottom tier and then maybe make it really steep, sort of down to it a bit.
I think the best thing, like I'm sure it will happen. Birmingham is being developed for athletics. I imagine that athletics will move to Birmingham as their home, and then you'll probably see the stadium change hands. We'll probably end up buying it, and then I imagine we'll probably end up getting sold to a billionaire. But the only way, really, I think they can make this work is if they just gut the entire stadium, leave the outside, leave the roof, maybe extend the roof a little bit, and just start again. It's been done. I think it's been done in Germany, but I think that's really the only way we're going to get a proper football stadium. But yeah, it's a good start if it actually happens. Happens.
Yeah, because that behind the goal area is, you know, that's a good base for the noise. Obviously, the Bobby Moore famous for it at Upton Park, so it'd be nice to close that in a little bit. And yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, talking about Bobby Moore, obviously, Billy Bonds.
Yeah,
as a stand.
Yeah. Obviously, that's been announced since we did our last show. Yeah, well deserved. You know, a man that has been, you know, been given a bad ride from the club for a long time. Yeah, only good for me. It's nice that we're finally appreciating our real legends. You know, the man's got the most appearances for the club. What else do you want?
Yeah. Great news. And then there's one stand left to name, and it quite clearly has to go to Colton Cole. So.
Yeah, who would you do? Who is the sort of obvious choice for that?
Well, Trev, Moore, Bonds.
Trev's already got one.
No, I'm just saying they're the three current stands.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. Who would you name the last stand after, guys? Put that in the comments. Yeah, so season in general, mate. Obviously, you know, we're not going to win the FA Cup now, and it was really frustrating to go out of that game, wasn't it? The Wimbledon game a few weeks ago, and know that we would have had Millwall, and then I think it's Palace that they play now, Millwall. It was there to be won, and it's a shame, and we're not going to finish much higher than 8th, I don't think, now. So what do you want for the rest of the season now?
I mean, the thing is a European place is still possible. If we get Nasri back, we get Lanzini back, if we put a little run together, and I think we've got quite a nice run of fixtures coming up.
I know we've got Man United soon.
I don't see any reason why we can't push for that 7th place still. I think we should still be aiming for that. Realistically, though, at the end of the day, as long as we finish top 10, I think it'll be a good season.
Yeah, I agree. Who is your... let's move on a little bit, mate. Who would you pick as your Hammer of the Year, mate, now, sort of as we approach the end of it now? Who is your Hammer of the Year? Obviously, we probably will discuss this again in a couple of weeks' time, but for me... Purely because...
Fabianski. I was going to say, purely because of injuries and everything, it's got to be Fabianski. If Arnautovic hadn't have had his strop, obviously he's in the discussion.
Rice. Fantastic as well.
Rice absolutely with a shout. I think Diop was on the path to it, but then, like you say, last few weeks he hasn't been as solid. Anderson has to be in with a shout.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think I'd give the same vote as you, mate. I'd go Fabianski as well.
Yeah. Let's go on to a few questions very quickly. So BR Strickle says, how many players in the current West Ham team are ahead of Declan Rice in terms of, you know, levels?
I mean, it depends, doesn't it? Like, he's a young player, and I don't know how you can really, like, we haven't really got any other players like him, so I don't really know who you're comparing him to.
I suppose, in terms of, let's do it in this term then. So, if you're picking a West Ham team, how many people are in the team before him? Do you know what I mean? So, like, for me, the West Ham team, first player on my team sheet at the moment is Anderson, probably, or Rice. So maybe not that many for me personally that's in front of him.
Well, you could say, what about, I suppose, who else on the team is a potential £70 million player.
Yeah.
So there, I think definitely you've got a case for Anderson. Absolutely, if he fulfills his potential. Again, he's been away a long time. If he comes back the same player, Lanzini 100% has that potential, but it remains to be seen how he comes back. Arnautovic is,
but yeah, in the right market would have been.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. He's definitely the biggest. He's definitely the biggest prospect we've got at the minute.
Yeah. Next one. With players returning from injury, this is Stephen. How will this impact on the current team? So, who will lose their place for the returning, Lanzini, Nasri's, and potentially Yarmolenko in a couple of weeks?
Well, obviously, Noble Obiang will be benched, and I think rightly so. Snodgrass, when Yarmolenko comes back, and even to an extent Nasri and Lanzini will sort of push Snodgrass aside a bit. Antonio is going to struggle to get in the team when everyone's fit.
Bono, obviously, with Balbuena in a couple of weeks as well. So, but it's good problems to have.
Yeah.
It's really good problems to have. A player that I don't think we'll see, probably potentially in a West Ham shirt again, is Lucas Perez. Just not worked out for him. I think it's a case of what is he? What is he, an attacking midfielder? Is he a winger? Is he a striker? I don't know.
I think he's quite a good. I wouldn't be opposed to him staying on again, not as the main man, but just as a backup, because he's a decent finisher. I think his actual goal scoring record is decent for us for the amount of minutes he's played. The goal he scored, who was it against when he came on and scored?
Yeah, I know the game you're talking about. He scored a really
and he
good
absolutely
goal,
rifled it in the bottom corner. He's got ability. He has got ability. I wouldn't be opposed to him staying. I really wouldn't. But I don't think he wants to be...
I don't think he will stay. I
don't think he wants to be that second, third, fourth choice player. I think he wants to be the main man somewhere. I think if he did go somewhere and he was the main man and he was given a run of games, I think he'd do well. I do think he'd do well.
So who else do you think will leave? And let's just have a little conversation about each player. So obviously we've just done Perez there. Andy Carroll, time to go. It is time to go. I did read a little rumour that the only sort of deal that could potentially be on the table is a pay-as-you-play. Even then, I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't. It's time to... He doesn't... What has he done since he's been back in the team?
Nothing. He can't jump anymore. He doesn't win headers anymore.
It doesn't stick. It doesn't
He
stick
can't
to him
run.
either.
He can't control a ball. He's done. He's done.
He hasn't got pace.
No,
like
he's done. He's done. Absolutely. Move him on.
Yeah, I think I read it on Claret Hugh, actually. It was either on Claret Hugh or The Sun. It worked out that every single one of his appearances was worth £280,000. Like, in terms of we've paid him 28 million in 5 or 6 year period that we've had him, which is ridiculous. It's a shame because there was, should I say, a very potentially good player there, and probably the best player being the Premier League at one point. But no, not for the club that we want to become. Sorry, I'm just reading there, mate, on Google News that Barcelona have said that Maxi Gomez is their number one target now. So there we go.
Well, that's why
didn't miss a trick there.
That's why we should have bought him in. That's why we should have bought him in January.
Yeah. Other players like looking to go is Chicharito. Obviously, I think he will go. I think he will go to Spain. Again, it's a bit of a shame, but again, he's had a bit of a sulky attitude when he's played the last few weeks. Arnie, I don't know in terms of whether he will go or not. I don't know. If we got 45 million for him, no, see you later. Because I think you will just get another potential wobbler by him about January time again, where he's like, "Yeah, I need a new contract." And it's a shame because he is a very good player.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I agree. You just
Obiang as well, like you say.
Obiang. I think Obiang's been wanting to leave for a while. It seems every window there's talk about him going back to Italy. I think he probably...
I think if you get 10 to 12 million for him, I think it's a good price.
This is the
probably
thing.
8 to 12.
Like I've read, and Pellegrini said it in a few of his press conferences around the whole Arnautovic thing, that he weren't the only one who wanted to leave. And apparently Obiang wanted to go, Chicharito wanted to go, Perez wanted to go. But at least they got on with it. Do you know what I mean? There weren't all this kicking up a fuss and all the rest of it. And so all three of those will probably leave in the summer, I would say.
Let's look at some outsiders potentially. Masuaku, maybe just doesn't fit the system.
I wouldn't mind seeing him
get in at left wing.
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't mind seeing, because a few times he's been brought on and he's played with Cresswell, so he's played in front of Cresswell. I wouldn't mind seeing him try it in that left wing position, because who else have we really got that can play there apart from Anderson?
Yeah, because Grady's right, and he.
I mean, Snodgrass can play there, but he prefers to play on the right. Arnautovic can play there as well, but if he leaves, I wouldn't mind seeing him tried in that role. And it's a shame, because I really like Masuaku. I think he's a really good technical player. I think last season he was bombing down the wing, and he used to take players on. He used to do skills. He used to do tricks. You don't seem to do that anymore.
Yeah, I think he's totally lost his confidence as well.
And his defensive positioning is shocking. He's all over the place defensively.
He doesn't close down either.
No.
He just lets players play and lets them cross the ball in. Antonio, maybe? Just as I'm thinking outsiding people.
Yeah.
Because he's been better. And listen, I've been really bad critic of him. I've really slated him. But I've got to give it. He has been a lot better. And he offers something in the last few games. On the turn, when he gets that turn and goes, you ain't stopping him.
No, he's a good outlet. He's a good outlet, and he's good for moving the ball up the pitch, because he is an absolute workhorse. Fantastic stamina, runs all day. It's just his technique and his end products. It's non-existent. It's just non-existent. I agree, mate. He has been a lot better, and I think he's been an asset for the team. I do. I definitely think he has. And I'd say there's still a place for him in the squad, but definitely he can't play the way Pellegrini wants West Ham to play.
No. He's not. He's technically not good enough.
He's just not talented enough. But I'd definitely say there's a place for him in the squad.
And obviously the only other one I can see probably leaving is Adrian. I think Adrian will go. Listen, Fabianski's one of the best keepers that I've seen in my lifetime as a West Ham fan. Obviously there's been better goalies, but one of the best for you, mate?
Oh, without a doubt. Absolutely, without a doubt. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. He's so... I love Adrian. Really do. And I've loved Adrian in West Ham's goal. But the difference in the confidence that Fabianski brings to the defence...
Very calm as well.
Exactly.
He doesn't make it about himself.
How many mistakes
not about him.
Have you seen Fabianski make? 1 or 2?
Yeah, and not real major ones. The one thing I will say about Adrian is he makes it about himself. A couple of times that when we first started London Stadium, get the ball, let's do some kick-ups, let's do a little chip pass to Ginge. With Fabianski, it's not that. Yeah. It's just simple. Yeah. I'm doing my goalie job. This is not about me.
Yeah, he catches a lot more. He holds on to the ball really well.
Shot stopping is incredible as well.
Fantastic.
Some of the saves he's pulled off this year is unbelievable.
And he's really, really good. This is something that Adrian always struggled with, but he's really, really good at coming for crosses, coming for corners. And when he does come off his line, you just know he's going to get the ball and he's going to hold on to it. And again, it's that confidence that brings to the defence. Yeah, he's a fantastic, fantastic goalkeeper. What a signing. What a signing. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, great, astute signing there. I'll tell you what, mate, a player that has been floated about on loan that could potentially come back, whether he goes again, who knows, and Milson Fernandez, mate, apparently doing a bit of a job out there for Fiorentina.
He scored a belter the other day.
Yeah, a club I used to love as well, because that was Gabriel Batistuta's club. Maybe, he's still very young, and I quite liked him anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes he looked a bit lightweight, but he was tidy.
The only thing with that is whether he wants to come back or not. I have read that apparently he's loving it in Italy and he wants to stay there. But yeah, definitely, like you say, mate, he was a decent player when he did play for us. A lot of potential.
Very young as well, like I say, he's only 22.
Yeah, a lot of potential. Absolutely, I'd love to see him come back in and be in and around the squad.
Yeah, no. another one that probably will go. Sorry, just more players are coming in my head now. Oxford, surely, surely will go. And listen, it's no big loss. We've not seen him in a West Ham shirt for nearly 2 years, like properly in a West Ham shirt. So no big loss.
No, absolutely. I think especially considering the injuries that we've had at centre back and the fact that he hasn't even been on the bench. There's been games where we've had. I'm trying to think. It was because Zabaleta pulled up injured, wasn't it? But we only named like 6 subs. But he hasn't had a look in at all. So no, I definitely don't think he's got a future at West Ham now. So yeah, I definitely think he'll be gone in the summer.
Yeah. Just back onto what I'd like to see for the season. Actually, if he gets a chance, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of Zande Silva as well. Just again, give the guy some minutes. See what he's about. He looked quite busy, to be honest, when he's played. He's looked quite lethal. He's got a bit of a lethal shot on him.
Yeah. And definitely, I mean, this is the time, like you say.
Grady as well. Give Grady more minutes.
I was just going to say about Dion Garner. I'm 100%, mate. Like, no, we haven't really got anything to play for. Definitely get them young lads involved. Get them in. Get them playing.
That's what West Ham used to be about. Like I remember going sort of when the Frank Lampard eras, and like those last sort of 10 games. That's when your Joe Coles were getting their little cameos and Defoes. Like, it was good times. That was nice. That was a little bit of a boost that you got towards the end of the season. You've got these exciting players, Stanislas, Hines, coming through, etc. So it'd be nice to see that. Is there anything else, mate, that you'd like to say? 1 minute. There's one more, actually. One more question I've missed out here before we do move on. Jack says, do you think Manuel Pellegrini will stay for the remainder of his contract or retire? And also, who would be your replacement in a few years' time?
I hope Pellegrini stays with West Ham until he does retire.
And leaves us in a really, as a really good, solid football club.
Yeah, I hope he stays with us for the next 3, 4, 5 years. I really do. I hope he stays with us until he does retire. As far as who to take over from him, who knows? Absolutely.
Listen, everyone's looking for, and I hate mentioning him, but I do mention him every week on this channel. Everyone's looking for the new Poch. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is looking for that Poch who can, just make a team. And I'm saying this as a West Ham fan. It's a little bit bitter, perhaps, towards them. I think he has had a lot of luck in terms of Harry Kane has come through this world class striker. That I think. If you had a striker like Harry Kane come through your youth team, you've got an half decent chance anyway, because that's the most important job on the pitch anyway.
Yeah,
scoring the goals. Yeah, yeah. In terms of replacement for me, what about if you could pick right now?
I genuinely don't know. I really don't. I genuinely do not know.
I tell you what I'm gonna sort of make a prediction in terms of where they could potentially be as a manager in the next sort of 2-3 years. The Wolves manager, for example, plays very good football, got very good links in the football world, seems to have good agents, sort of can pick a player for him. So yeah, maybe someone like that. But again, if he carries on at Wolves doing this sort of stuff he's doing, he's got to be at big jobs. Because a man that I'm glad we didn't get in hindsight now, mate, is the Everton guy.
Oh, Silva.
Yeah, because it's just not worked out.
It hasn't worked out at all, no.
It's like he's been found out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is him, how much of that is Everton. Just seem like they're in a bit of a mess anyway.
The Watford manager's quite good manager as well. They play some nice football there. But yeah, it's someone with that attacking mentality, not a dinosaur. We don't want like an Allardyce character or one of these recycled managers, I'd like to call it.
I want a young 40-year-old Pellegrini.
That's
what I want.
Yeah, that's it. Anything else, West Ham, mate?
No, I think we've covered pretty much all the news since the last time we was on.
Yeah, just as we always do, mate. This weekend, Chris Eubank versus James DeGale. I don't really care who wins. I don't like either. I did see a good interview with Chris Eubank's dad actually saying that he thinks James De Gea will box his son's head off. Apparently, he goes, if my son goes in there thinking he can blast him away, he will lose.
I don't like either of them, but I'd rather see De Gea win than Eubank.
Yeah, no,
I would actually love to see Eubank get spanked out.
Yeah, but I don't think De Gea's not that sort of boxer. I don't think he's got the knockout in him. I would love to see him at least knocked down at some point in his career. Yeah, so that's the exciting one for this weekend. Yeah, that is it, I think. Nice long show for you. You know, we've discussed a lot this week, and hopefully we can bring back some more for you in the coming weeks. Until then, guys, come on your irons. Let's get a good result tonight and a good finish to the season. Like I say, drop any comments in or questions you'd like us to answer next time. Until then, keep believing. Let's go.
Cheers.